Beershine and I were both treated very rudely.
Welcome to our TV News Report. It's good to be with you today. This is a Channel 6 TV roundup of local news, the news of interest to our Moab and Canyonlands area, and I'm Dee Tranter reporting. We apologize for missing our last news program, an unavoidable conflict at recording time. Take a look at the weather and let you see what we think may be coming up. But the dry weather continues. I took a look at my front lawn today and thought, gee, that looks like typical July look of that lawn with all, because I haven't been conscientious in keeping it watered. And that usually is how it looks in July instead of May. Well, we'll see. I'll be back in just a moment with a look at news of interest to our Moab area. Williamsburg Savings Bank at 164 East Center would like to introduce the Winner Premier Checking Account. You'll receive a minimum of 5.25% on your balance, plus a variety of services, including accidental death insurance, credit card registration, emergency cash advance, travel bonus club, and free special Winner Premier checks. So visit the friendly people at Williamsburg Savings Bank at 164 East Center, member FSLIC. In news today, there's news of that proposed road that, if built, would connect between the Moab area and Vernal over the Book Cliffs. At a regular meeting of the Grand County Roads Special Service District, a $411,000 contract was awarded to the engineering firm of Kramer and Noble. The contract is for a study of the Book Cliffs Road project. We'll have more details of that meeting at a later news program this week. In a related story, the Grand County Commission meeting this week saw the Democratic Central Committee voice concerns over the road district.
Okay, the Honorable Members, Grand County Commission. The Grand County Democratic Central Committee would like to express its concern that the Grand County Special Service Road District Board has disregarded the Utah Open Meeting Act. There have been instances where the board has neglected posting proper notification of their meetings, posting of their agenda, and the keeping of proper minutes and records of meetings. This situation has made it so there is little opportunity for the public to comment and give input to the board. We feel without public input, the road board cannot make good decisions for Grand County. We are concerned that the board does not always have complete attendance and that with only 3 members, it does not represent Grand County citizens fairly. Therefore, we urge the commissioners to abide by their pledge to establish open and representative government. We ask that in the interest of good government, the commission insist the road board comply with the Utah Open Meetings Act and that the commission expand the road board to 7 members so that the people of Grand County may be better represented. Respectfully, Grand County Democratic Central.
And I think I've been able to attend every meeting that they had, other than that one. And I did speak to the director of the Special Service Board, asking specifically, why it wasn't. He said, well, it wasn't really a meeting, so it was a workshop. It wasn't a meeting where decisions were made.
But you can't do that, though. I've got this little booklet from the Attorney General's office, and it answers it by asking questions. And one of the questions is that type of meeting permissible, without notification or without posting it? And it is not. You cannot do that.
If there are any things adopted or any public things, that is a big difference. And I understand this meeting you're talking about is when they hired the engineers, and I think that should have been a public meeting.
Merv, you've been to every meeting we've had, this workshop that everyone seems to be making an issue, and that including the news reporter that seems to like to report things in a manner that I would think the news should show an unbiased opinion in this sort of thing. And I kind of resent the fact that we have a news media man that covers these things that's highly opinionated.
I don't know if that should have been advertised or not, Jimmy, because I wasn't there for it, because I wasn't aware that it was taking place. I did question you at the next meeting, how come it had not been advertised, and you told me that it was not a meeting where any decisions were made, it was only a workshop, and I accepted that. I didn't take it any further than that. I felt that was adequate sort of information as far as I was concerned.
I want to go on record to say we are not holding any secret meetings. We have tried to keep the public informed. We are going to have a public information meeting at our next regular meeting, which will be the third Saturday of next month here at this courtroom, where we'll answer any other questions that might be going around.
Point about the legality of a workshop. Anything other than a chance meeting, which you were talking about, Dave, must be under the Sunshine Act, so that it doesn't matter what kind of euphemism you use. It's still a legal meeting. It should have an agenda posted. It must be at least 24 hours before the meeting. The meeting place must be clearly designated, and it must be open to anyone who wants to come to it.
Another thing is, I think from the very beginning, the way this district was set up is one of the big issues. And please don't interrupt me before I get finished on this. This was set up immediately after the election when these people were defeated. It might not have happened that way if they had been elected. But they were defeated. I was at the meeting when they set up. They appointed each other to this board. I brought up the question objecting, and Mr. Dutch Zimmerman told me that I had nothing to say about it as yet. At the time, January 1st, then I could help make the decisions. It was the way it was done that's making people angry, the way that it was set up, the secrecy. And Jimmy says there was no secrecy. Well, this is the way it appeared. Maybe they didn't mean it to be secret, but that's what it came across to me. Now I'll be quiet.
I still have a question.
So,
I would like to ask Mr. Walker if he would object to having 4 more people on the board.
I think the way the board is set up is very proper. I think that a 3-person board gets things done far better and simpler than a bigger board.
Can the county commission go ahead and appoint more members, things like that? What is the process?
I think that we should take that up to higher, because our county officer says, well, the minutes and, the bylaws and things were set up for 3 on the commission, and you have nothing to say about it. You can't put more on the board.
I believe we can.
Well, I think we should.
I believe
If
we
we
can.
can.
I believe we can.
I think that if we got 2 more people on the board, I think that would take a lot of the threat and the worry of the public. I think we've got to work together on these projects. I don't like the way it's going. We've got to work together as a group.
The goal or aim and object of the whole discussion that we've had now must have a recommendation. As far as I can gather, on the recommendation is that they should hold a public hearing to air this as soon as possible to the general public, because that is who they are responsible for. Consideration should be given for extra board membership and an assurance that their meetings are adequately published and that the public is able to attend. In fact, where they are having their meetings now, it would preclude a large number of the public attending because it's a fairly small office. Maybe they should be in here. I'm sorry, Jimmy just left. That is what I have heard out of the discussions that you people have brought
I'm satisfied.
to me now. And I would like to take that under advisement and discuss it with our full county commission as to what we, as the county commission, should say at another meeting in front of the public, make decisions.
The road district is tentatively scheduled to go before the Community Impact Board, CIB, on June 1st for partial funding of the Book Cliffs Road project. And we'll have more information on that story at a later news program. And I'll be back with more news after this message. In other news, concern continues over the low amount of snowpack in our LaSalle Mountain area. At an emergency meeting held May the 19th, members of the Grand County Water Conservancy District Board of Directors determined that restrictions must be imposed upon water users of the district's pressurized irrigation system. Individuals who use waters from Ken's Lake and Spanish Valley irrigation system are being asked to restrict their use to 65% of normal for the remainder of this 1989 season. Now, these restrictions do not affect drinking water. It does not affect the Spanish Valley Water and Sewer Improvement District's culinary water system, the Moab City's culinary water system, or Moab Irrigation Company system. In addition to the imposed restrictions, board members agreed that all wells which may supplement water to Ken's Lake and Spanish Valley irrigation system will be pumped until the water shortage appears to have lessened. It is assumed that this pumping will be required throughout the remainder of this summer season. Repairs made to breaks in the Ken's Lake Reservoir Basin during the winter resulted in a loss of diverted water during the winter, and subsequent lack of snowpack on the LaSalle Mountain have added to the reduction in water available for diversion. Combined, these two factors have made the restrictions necessary. Restriction figures will be updated monthly by the district staff and may increase or decrease as the season progresses. By the way, the latest snowpack measurements on the LaSalle Mountain, there was no snow to measure on either the upper or lower course. Zero snow. Now, there's still a few little patches way high in the mountain peaks, but in the mountain measurement courses, no snow. So we're looking at a very low water year this year. Colorado River level remains about where it has been over the past week, which is one of the lowest water years in many, many years. And as we had also mentioned, the Friendship Cruise has been canceled this year because of Lake Powell and because of the low water in the river, both the Green and Colorado River. And down on Lake Powell, the ferry service is being canceled for the weekend. That's because of the number of boaters that are expected on Lake Powell. What is happening is the John Atlantic Burr ferry boat that operates between Bullfrog Basin and Hall's Crossing on Lake Powell has had to quit use of their regular launching sites because of the low water. And so they're using the public ramp system. But with the heavy use this weekend, the public system is going to be overtaxed, so they're going to discontinue use of the John Atlantic Burr. The closure of the Burr ferry boat will be between Thursday, May 25th at 7 in the evening, and it will not resume service until Tuesday, May 30th at 8 a.m. The Burr has been operating on Lake Powell for 4 years, usually uses special designated loading areas, but the low water level this spring, those ramps are unusable. So that's the situation down on Lake Powell. Finally, this is graduation week at Grand County High School, and let's take a look at the graduation activities that are going on this week at the high school. On Tuesday, 9 a.m. will be a graduation practice. Daytime Student Awards program will be Tuesday at 10:30 a.m. at the high school. The National Honor Society induction will be at 7:30 p.m. in the evening, Tuesday at Star Hall, and also Tuesday evening at 8 o'clock will be the Senior Awards program. On Thursday, a dress rehearsal for graduation will be held at 9 a.m., and the graduation ceremony will be held at 8:30 p.m. at the high school. The last day of school will be Monday the 29th, and school will be dismissed on that date at 10 a.m. By the way, student body officers were elected recently at Grand County High School. The new officers for the coming year include President Jennifer Randall. She is the daughter of Jerry and Charlotte Martinez. Vice President Jamie Lopez. She's the daughter of Eddie and Sandy Lopez. And Secretary is Aaron Holyoke. He's the son of Ron and Catherine Holyoke of Moab. And that's news of Moab in our area, and we hope you enjoy a good day.
Hi, I'm John Fogg, your local independent insurance agent. We've been serving the Moab area since 1955. Central Utah Insurance Agency has a company that fits just about any need. Just look at what we can do for you.
We can insure all kinds of vehicles, from old to new, sporty to luxury. We can insure almost every kind of home.
Why not come in and see me today? I will put your insurance coverage with a company that fits your needs at the best possible price.
Welcome to our TV News Report. I'm Dee Tranter with a roundup of news of interest to our Moab and Canyonlands country. In the weather, it looks like maybe a little change for the immediate future, but toward the weekend, Weather Service says we should be back to some nice weather. So some breezy and a little cooler weather expected in the immediate forecast. I'll be back in just a moment with a look at news of interest to our Moab and Canyonlands area. Williamsburg Savings Bank at 164 East Center would like to introduce the Winner Premier Checking Account. You'll receive a minimum of 5.25% on your balance, plus a variety of services, including accidental death insurance, credit card registration, emergency cash advance, travel bonus club, and free special Winner Premier checks. So visit the friendly people at Williamsburg Savings Bank at 164 East Center, member FSLIC. In our last news broadcast at this time yesterday, we had a story on a Democratic Central Committee voicing concerns about possible violations of the Sunshine Law by the Grand County Road District Board. The open meeting law, sometimes called the Sunshine Law, seems to have different interpretations by elected officials and citizens.
I am only aware of that one occasion on the workshop where they did not post. All the other meetings, I think they posted, because that is how I was able to find out where they were and what time they were. And I think I've been able to attend every meeting that they had, other than that one. And I did speak to the director of the Special Service Board, asking specifically, why it wasn't. He said, well, it wasn't really a meeting, so it was a workshop. It wasn't a meeting where decisions were made.
But you can't do that. I've got this little booklet from the Attorney General's office, and it answers it by asking questions, and one of the questions is that type of meeting permissible, without notification or without posting it, and it is not. You cannot do that.
I'm not so sure about that, and the reason I say that is because the three of us meet oftentimes without posting anything. We meet in Salt Lake. We have meetings that are called, 3 commissioners go to. The clerk auditors are going to have a workshop, and it's not going to be posted. We meet with the Utah Association of Counties, where the 3 of us commissioners meet oftentimes to discuss things, and it's simply not posted. I don't think the public is denied to those meetings, but they're not posted. I'm not even sure that...
The meeting's posted though, Dave.
No.
The meeting is not available to the public anymore.
No.
There's not a notice in the paper that
No.
commissioners are going to that.
No. I've got a stack of letters like this from Utah Association of Counties that simply say there's going to be a meeting and you need to come up to it. But at those meetings, there are no decisions. They're simply workshops. There's no decisions made that would affect the county. We simply go up and receive information. And so that's why I wonder. I'm not clear on the Sunshine Act at all. I mean, I understand that when there's a meeting being held and we make decisions, that yes, the public needs to be informed and have the opportunity to attend. But I know specifically that there's all sorts of meetings that go in all over the state with people that are not posted, the minutes aren't kept, but they're simply work meetings where you receive information and then you take it back to your regular commission meetings or your regular board meetings. And then the public has an opportunity to...
Isn't the
Point about the legality of a workshop. Anything other than a chance meeting, which you were talking about, Dave, must be under the Sunshine Act, so that it doesn't matter what kind of euphemism you use. It's still a legal meeting. It should have an agenda posted. It must be at least 24 hours before the meeting. The meeting place must be clearly designated, and it must be open to anyone who wants to come to it.
I'm not talking about a chance meeting. I'm talking about meetings that that each one of us been invited to attend up in Salt Lake, where we each get a letter, and we're asked to go up and be to a meeting. Those are not posted. The public is not denied, but the public is not invited.
Another issue discussed at the county commission meeting that was held on Monday of this week was the funding of mineral lease and payment in lieu of taxes or PILT money, and how that money will be spent.
The people were told absolutely that the money had to go to a road board and could not be used for anything else.
That was the best information available at the time, Craig.
We should have looked into it more deeply.
Isn't that what's happening right now?
May I interject, please? That was done, and it went right to Washington, to the Solicitor General in Washington, and that was felt to be some of the highest sort of authority you could get at, and it came out of there too. So it wasn't a case of it wasn't investigated adequately.
There is two parts of this program. One of them is that what will eventually be 25% of the mineral lease money the state of Utah gets on Grand County lands. That goes to a special road district. That will be spent on roads. I don't know where Craig's getting his information other than that, but that's the way the plan always was, and that's the way it's put in the legislation and the bill and whole work. The other part is the payment in lieu of state lands. That can be directed in another direction. It was agreed upon by a lot of different people. In Grand County, that money would go to the road special service district. It can go to a lot of places, the way I understand it. The point was it was not smart, and it takes some smarts in rural Utah to make things work. Now, we don't have that many smarts sometimes, but it's made a lot of sense to me. And so I think the bottom line of that thing is, yes, the PILT money can go to other places, but is it a smart thing to do at this point? It's a complicated program.
In other news today, in matters of the law, Moab Police Department reported the arrest of 2 juveniles after several vandalism incidents occurred over the weekend. 2 juveniles, one age 7 and one age 12, reportedly broke windows and headlights out of a semi-truck parked at Skyline Diesel, causing about $3,000 damage. The pair also reportedly broke windows on automobiles at 702 South Main in the Mountain View subdivision, causing $700 damage. The pair were arrested after the incident of retail theft at Walker Drug. They were charged with 5 counts of criminal mischief, retail theft, resisting arrest, and assault on a police officer. Also, over the weekend, there were 2 attempts of vehicle theft at local motels, Ramada Inn and Virginian Motel. The ignition systems of vehicles were pulled out, causing about $500 damage to one and $300 damage to the other. And a theft was reported at Ed's Plumbing sometime last week. Persons entered the yard and took tools and equipment valued at $655 there. That incident is also under investigation by the police department. I'll be back in just a moment after this message.
Hi, I'm John Fogg, your local independent insurance agent. We've been serving the Moab area since 1955. Central Utah Insurance Agency has a company that fits just about any need. Just look at what we can do for you.
We can insure all kinds of vehicles, from old to new, sporty to luxury. We can insure almost every kind of home.
Why not come in and see me today? I'll put your insurance coverage with a company that fits your needs at the best possible price.
Pepsi-Cola Company of Utah has donated some $40,000 to 337 Utah schools for their participation in the company's Pepsi Cash Caps. The more than 48% of the state's public and private schools participated in the contest, a fundraising event. The contest ran from February 1st through May the 1st. Participating schools receive 5 cents for every cash cap or Pepsi bottle cap collected for their school. Pepsi offered a 500 cap bonus for early enrollment and another cap match up to the school's first 500 caps collected. Ellen Robinson, Pepsi area manager, presented a check symbolic of the $39,484 to James Moss, state superintendent of public schools, at a recent ceremony held in Salt Lake at Hogle Zoo. Pepsi is bound to be a partner in the funding of Utah education, she said. We've long felt our nation's youth must be our highest priority. The 5 winning schools that collected the most bottle caps included one from Moab. Those 5 schools include the Conquer Academy, Midvale School, that's in Midvale, Utah, Milford Elementary School in Milford, Springdale Elementary School at Springdale, Utah, and Grand County Middle School of Moab. Also, the Salt Lake Lutheran High School was another winner. Speaking of schools, 2 Moab area PTA representatives attended a state PTA conference held at Provo, Utah last week. Attending from our area were Susie Gregory, president of Red Rock Elementary PTA, and Kimberly Stannard. She's presently working on starting a PTA group at the middle school. The convention was held at Provo at Brigham Young University. Both Susie and Kimberly attended all of the legislative sessions, heard the keynote speaker's address, and attended various luncheons and banquets. Both women attended the local PTA president's workshop, and Susie attended workshops on holistic learning and special needs children. Kimberly attended workshops on reflections and creative writing. PTA has donated $700 to the Big Screen TV Fund at Red Rock Elementary as part of the Teacher Appreciation Week. PTA is an advocacy organization for children, and anyone interested in helping children in any way can join and have an active voice for children. PTA is 6.6 million members nationally, and that means legislators listen to us, she said. And she also said we pass laws that help all children. If you'd like information, contact Susie at 259-5924 or Kimberly at 259-5214. Taking a look at some events around our community you may want to know about. The American Legion Auxiliary Post 54 has announced Poppy Day in Moab will be held Saturday, May 27th. The poppy is the remembrance of those whose lives were lost in the defense of freedom. Disabled veterans make the poppies, and every penny donated goes directly to aid the disabled veterans and his family. Donations are not fixed, and any amount is accepted, and you're invited to wear a poppy, America's silent tribute to her heroes. Also, Memorial Day is going to be this weekend. If you have a flag that you would like flown, a veteran's flag, during the Memorial Day weekend, the American Legion is asking you to bring those flags to Ed's Barber Shop by this Saturday if you want them to fly at the cemeteries. The address is 94 East Center Street in Moab. And finally, the Red Rock Riders Memorial Day weekend open horse show is planned for this weekend. It'll be May the 27th at 10:30 a.m. at the Equestrian Center. That's news of Moab and the Canyonlands area. We hope you enjoy a good day.
The Movies Video Library at 98 East Center Street has the largest and best selection of movies in Utah with over 3,000 titles. New releases to classics, a large selection of children's movies, and for that sweet tooth, Golitz candies. We also have gourmet coffee with many fine blends. The Movies, your one-stop video store at 98 East Center, 259-8847.
Okay, yeah, well, I'm glad you brought that by.
Yeah. Hopefully we'll get calls, I'm sure we will, when it,
Pete & Company at 471 South Main would like to introduce their new hair designer, Michelle, specializing in all the latest cuts for men and women. And Pete & Company are having a May special for Mother's Day and graduation. You can receive a perm with a bottle of shampoo, conditioner, and a travel brush, a $55 value for only $45. Give a gift for mother or that new graduate with a gift certificate from Pete & Company. Pete also carries a full line of Scruples products that will help your skin in this dry season. So stop by Pete & Company for all your hair care needs. That's Pete & Company at 471 South Main in the Desert Plaza. Phone 259-7735.
Welcome to our television news report. I'm Dee Tranter, and I'll have a look at the news that is of interest to our Moab and Canyonlands country. Let's take a look at the weather first of all. Boy, we had some winds this week in our area, And looks like now the weather's calmed down a little bit. What we need is some moisture, and there's nothing, at least in the immediate future, that looks that way, like at least anything significant. There's more on that proposed road between Moab and the Vernal area. I'll have that story and more news coming up in just a moment. Williamsburg Savings Bank at 164 East Center would like to introduce the Winner Premier Checking Account. You'll receive a minimum of 5.25% on your balance, plus a variety of services, including accidental death insurance, credit card registration, emergency cash advance, travel bonus club, and free special Winner Premier checks. So visit the friendly people at Williamsburg Savings Bank at 164 East Center, member FSLIC. At the regular meeting of the Grand County Roads Special Service District, Chamber of Commerce President Dave Beerscheid presented a letter from the Chamber's Board of Directors concerning the proposed Book Cliff Road project.
Also, I'd like to go on record, I'd like to be noted that we've received a letter from the Chamber of Commerce where they say that they're not really sure that they support the road. Matter of fact, they say that they're not certain whether they oppose it or not.
I didn't mean to be so negative. That's poor wording. I apologize.
That's all right.
That was quickly done. I should have.
Anyway, the way this letter reads is that they are not in support of it at this time, and they need to have some questions answered. So we will be having a meeting here before too long to try to answer some of these questions that people have about where these funds are coming from and what our plans are. So anyway, I'd like to just note that the letter comes from the Chamber of Commerce signed by the Chamber Board of Directors.
I'd like to go on record as saying at this time I feel that without any public input that it's a little premature, and I'm not trying to tell the board how to act, but premature to sign a contract that could incur debts that the people of Grand County haven't been made aware of or haven't voted on or at least talked to you about. And the reason I ask these questions is I've talked to some pretty prominent people in the community that are conservative right now about spending a lot of money, whether it's state money or county money. And to put $45 million into a road, they need to have some justification of what that road is going to do in return. In other words, it's going to save you 70 miles or an hour. Now, I understand that it's going to save you going over a pass, which, you know, in the wintertime is a considerable consideration. But they're just wondering if that 70 miles is worth the money that's been, you know, trying to get appropriated.
You're saying just to get from here to there an hour, but you're not, and they don't realize that there's a lot of industry in between there that could be opened up if a road was in that area. For example, these tar sands. They're sitting there now, and I do know of one individual in Salt Lake City that went in there, and due to the fact that the transportation is going to be so high, it wasn't justifiable in. But if there was a road that could come from there down to the railroad here, which at Cisco, it would be feasible to go in there and open that up. Okay, there's revenue for Grand County.
Some Chamber of Commerce members contacted on Tuesday of this week, and they all said the Board of Directors should have surveyed the Chamber of Commerce membership before presenting that letter to the Special Service Road District. One member stated that the Chamber should not take a political stand on this issue. Another 28-year member and past president of the organization said that the board has taken it on themselves to stop economic development. Of the members contacted, the consensus on the need for the Book Cliff Road was evenly divided for and against. The Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors will be holding a meeting on Wednesday, the 31st, at 7 o'clock in the courtroom of the courthouse. The purpose of the meeting is to discuss the proposed road from Moab to Vernal. In response to the Chamber's concerns, the Grand County Special Service Road District has agreed to participate in that meeting. All Chamber members and any other interested citizen is invited to attend this special meeting of the Chamber Board. If you have any questions about the matter, you're welcome to call the Chamber of Commerce number at 259-7531. And again, that meeting with the Chamber and Special Service Road District is going to be on Wednesday the 31st at 7 o'clock in the courtroom. Over in Green River, Utah, Grand County Sheriff's officers are joining there in the search for the body of a father and his son who drowned last weekend. I'm sure you heard that report. It was on all of the Salt Lake television report stations. One change, though, from the reports earlier. The earlier reports from Salt Lake television indicated that the father was with two of his sons. Actually, he was with a son and a friend of his son. The boy that was drowned was 9 years old. His father, Clint Thompson of Green River, also disappeared, and the search continues. A Grand County Sheriff's Office is involved in that search. Eastern Utah authorities continue searching for Mr. Thompson and his 9-year-old son, who were swept away Saturday while wading and fishing in the Green River. Emery County's Deputy John Burdick said details about the accident were still sketchy. The accident happened at 4:20 p.m. Saturday. The man and his son and another boy had gone fishing north of the city of Green River when the two children were carried away by a swift undercurrent. One of the boys, the friend, made it to an island and was spotted by a passerby. The father went in after the boys, and he also disappeared. Utah Representative Wayne Owens is calling for a $3.5 million increase in funding for the Forest Service. In a letter, Representative Sidney R. Yates, Democrat of Illinois, chairman of the House Appropriations Subcommittee on the Interior, and Representative Owens have asked for an additional $107.5 million in President Bush's Forest Service budget, of which $2 million would go to Utah. Of that, Representative Owens said $750,000 is needed to deal with cattle and sheep-caused damage to ranges and streams, and $250,000 is needed for recreation and management improvements in the Wasatch Cache National Forest. A group of Belgian and Dutch visitors were here in our area, and a little publicity on a movie that was filmed here in Moab last summer. I'll have those stories and more news in just a moment. A group of Belgian and Dutch tour operators spent some time here in Moab this past weekend. In fact, enjoyed an outing along the Colorado River, complete with full moon and a sandy beach. It was part of the Utah Travel Council sponsored FAM, or Familiarization Tour. The group arrived late last Saturday evening after hiking and horseback riding in the San Rafael Swell. Upon their arrival, the group was escorted along Scenic Highway 191 for an evening float trip and cookout. Co-sponsored by Grand County as part of the Canyonlands region, the FAM tour was targeted towards tour operators who are in the process of expanding their individual and group markets into Utah. Another Travel Council business, approval was given for the second leg of the fall-winter promotional plan for Moab and Green River. Magazine advertising campaign targeting the Wasatch Front. Executive market was approved to begin in August and run through February. The campaign will promote the spectrum of Canyonlands, focusing on the wide range of rest and relaxation options available in our area. The promotion will work in conjunction with the Winter FAM Tour and 2 Salt Lake billboards that are on display October through March. Additional parts of the campaign still in the planning stages include a radio TV promotion, golf promotion package, and direct mail postcard campaign. Major focus of the campaign will be to build visitation in the off-season from November through February by encouraging getaway weekends. Grand County School Board has decided at their May meeting that was held last Wednesday to move the 5th and 6th grade students to Helen M. Knight School next year if $100,000 in additional funds are available. The proposal to move those grades to the Helen M. Knight facility came from a study committee set up to see what grades would best fit into the newly upgraded school facility, which has also been proposed for use by the University of Utah as a fine arts center. Diane Kopka, principal of the middle school, will also take over duties as the new intermediate elementary school principal. Glenn Taylor, superintendent of our local school, said last week that the school district has applied for $100,000 per year in additional funding from the Small Schools Funding, which would cover some of the cost of operating the 2 new grades at Helen M. Knight. If the funding isn't available, he said, then kindergarten and first grades will probably move into the Helen M. Knight facility. And finally, the issue of allowing shorts to be worn by students in the elementary and middle school isn't dead yet. After voting down the proposal at the last meeting, a new plan has been proposed and will be reviewed by the school board at their next meeting, which will be on June 21st. A couple of events around our community. This week's Sandwiches and Soup will be the fare for Hospitality Day, to be held at St. Pius Catholic Church Hall, sponsored by local churches. Fridays between 11:30 and 1 o'clock, you're invited to share good food and enjoy the companionship of your neighbors, and there's no charge. Remember, Memorial Day is a Monday, and the American Legion is asking you to bring flags to Ed's Barber Shop by this Saturday if you'd like them to fly at local cemeteries. There will be a program on national television sponsored or promoting, at least, or reporting on a major spring event here in Moab, the annual Jeep Safari. Sunday, May 28th at 7:30 p.m., the Nashville Network will air a 30-minute program that was filmed here last spring during the annual Jeep Safari. The Nashville Network is on Channel 22 locally. And a movie that opened on Wednesday of this week is being promoted heavily, as I'm sure you've noticed, on all of the national news reports and talk shows, and that's Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. And Terry Orm, writer for the Salt Lake Tribune, is one of the few I have noted who has included pictures of Arches National Park. As you remember, Steven Spielberg was here in Moab last summer with his film crew to film part of Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade that was filmed at Arches National Park. That part of the film includes Indiana Jones as a young boy. The young man who starred in that is River Phoenix. And here's a trivia question that you might remember for years to come. Where did Indiana Jones grow up? The answer, southern Utah. It's funny, I don't remember too many old-timers that remember Indiana Jones as a boy, but that's the way the story goes. And that's news of Moab and our Canyonlands area, and we hope you enjoy a pleasant day.
Hi, I'm John Fogg, your local independent insurance agent. We've been serving the Moab area since 1955. Central Utah Insurance Agency has a company that fits just about any need. Just look at what we can do for you.
We can insure all kinds of vehicles, from old to new, sporty to luxury. We can insure almost every kind of home.
Why not come in and see me today? I'll put your insurance coverage with a company that fits your needs at the best possible price.
Welcome to our TV News Report. I'm Dee Tranter, and it's nice to be with you with a roundup of news that is of interest to our area, the Moab and the Canyonlands country. And a look at the weather forecast, and as we move toward the Memorial Day weekend, it should be a busy weekend, always is in our Moab area, and I think you can again expect a lot of visitors here for this weekend coming up. And the 2 millionth visitor has arrived at Canyonlands National Park. I'll have that story and more news in just a moment. Williamsburg Savings Bank at 164 East Center would like to introduce the Winner Premier Checking Account. You'll receive a minimum of 5.25% on your balance, plus a variety of services, including accidental death insurance, credit card registration, emergency cash advance, travel bonus club, and free special Winner Premier checks. So visit the friendly people at Williamsburg Savings Bank at 164 East Center, member FSLIC. The 2 millionth visitor has arrived at Canyonlands National Park and was honored at a little ceremony that was held at the Island in the Sky on Tuesday of this week.
All right. Thank you. John Side.
How are you with work?
Nice to meet you.
I'm the superintendent of Canyonlands National Park.
So we're the 200 minutes.
You're the 2 millionth.
2 minutes. 200 minutes. I'm fine.
It's a great pleasure to, on behalf of the National Park Service and Canyonlands National Park, to welcome you on this 25th year of the establishment of the National Park, to have our 2 millionth visitor. And we have a few things we'd like for you to enjoy.
Oh, thank you.
If you would. To start off with, I would like to present you with your passport to your national parks.
Thanks.
And included in that is an annual pass for this whole year.
I see.
At the 3 parks in this area.
Thanks.
And the national stamp is in here. I don't know if you folks have started collecting those stamps yet.
Not yet, but we saw them in the gift shop.
And so we have the national stamp and the one for out here in here to start you off.
I see.
Thank you. And I started you off with a signature for the arches.
Thank you.
For the arches one.
Thanks.
And because it is also because it's our 25th anniversary, this is the 25th anniversary T-shirt of Canyonlands National Park.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And the T-shirt shop in town, I have some other certificates. One of the items is for you to go by there, and they will, if this is not your size, they'll fit you each in the size that you want to select.
Thanks.
Oh my goodness.
Well, goodness,
They have,
lucky.
On behalf of the National Parks and the Canyonlands Natural History Association, we have some books for you. Desert Solitaire, the National Park Service, this is the story behind the scenery and all of the parks, and Utah Canyon Country, and the National Parks Calendar.
Thanks. Oh, thank you. Oh, that's wonderful. Thanks.
And while you're in Moab, we do have a new 18-hole golf course. Do you play golf?
No, we don't.
We'd like you to at least go out and visit the golf course. And they'll let you take a golf cart and go over the course.
Okay.
Or you can learn how to play golf while you're here.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
Thanks. You don't want to trade cars.
I'll keep the keys.
The city.
Yeah,
appreciate you being here.
Yeah.
And with me here is we do have a certificate from the Chamber of Commerce, the president of which is a city councilman, Mr. David Bierschot.
Glad to meet you. I'd like to present you with this certificate showing that you're the 2 millionth visitor to the park, and we hope you enjoy your stay here.
Well,
it's a nice place. We like it, and we're sure you will too.
Yeah, thanks. I'm looking forward to it.
I think we have another gentleman here.
I'm Hans Weisel, chairman from the Grand County Travel Council. Welcome.
Nice to meet you.
I have a little envelope with a poster about the Canyonlands.
Oh, wonderful. Thanks.
Hope you enjoy your stay.
Thank you.
Don't lose your gift.
We just said we were going to come back.
Yeah, you have to stay a while to use it up.
It was so wonderful. We just got in. You see. We just got in. We thought, maybe do it tomorrow, or maybe do it today. We didn't buy anything yet.
Wonderful.
Wonderful right there. That's perfect. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah.
Visitors will have an easier time getting into the Island in the Sky and Dead Horse Point after the Utah Highway Department approves a new roadway into the park. They're going to hold a public hearing on that road coming up, the reconstruction of State Route 313 from where it intersects with Highway 191 about 7 miles north of Moab on out to the Island in the Sky Road will be the subject of a public hearing to be held by UDOT, Utah Department of Transportation. The hearing will be Tuesday, May 30th at 7:30 p.m. in the Grand County Courthouse. UDOT proposes to reconstruct 14.5 miles to provide a new 2-lane road with 11-foot wide travel lanes, 4-foot shoulders, and a 4-foot bicycle path on both sides. The proposal would cost an estimated $10 million and would be constructed in 2 projects. The first project would extend from U.S. Highway 191 approximately 6 miles. UDOT could begin the acquisition of additional right-of-way this summer and complete the first project in mid-summer of 1990. Completion of the remaining improvements would depend entirely on available funding. The hearing will be conducted by Utah Department of Transportation Commission Chairman Sam Taylor of Moab. UDOT's technical presentation will be made by Frank Ulrich, District 4 design engineer from Price. Those unable to attend the hearing but wishing to give testimony may do so by writing James Johnston, UDOT Community Involvement Officer, at 4501 South, 2700 West in Salt Lake City. To be included in the official transcript, all testimony must be postmarked no later than midnight, June the 9th, 1989. Grand and Emery County authorities have recovered the bodies of that Green River, Utah man and his boy that were drowned last weekend in the Green River. They had been fishing along the bank of the river when the boy went in and the father went after him. Another neighbor boy was able to get to a sandbar, but the bodies of Clinton Thompson and his 9-year-old son Tyler were recovered this week on Wednesday by Grand and San Juan County, or Grand and Emery County authorities. Well, we mentioned earlier the big Memorial Day weekend. It's always a busy weekend throughout southern Utah and will be again, and I'll have a look at how that may be, how the people down in Lake Powell are looking toward the weekend. And I'll have more news coming up in just a moment.
Spanish Valley Nursery at 2620 Spanish Valley Drive has an outstanding selection of greenery for your landscaping needs. And Memorial Day weekend may be just the extra time you've been looking for to beautify your home with easy-to-care-for evergreens and shrubs. Remember your loved ones with long-lasting potted flowers from Spanish Valley Nursery this Memorial Day. And visit Spanish Valley Nursery at 2620 Spanish Valley Drive and take home a green growing addition to your little oasis. And have a safe and happy Memorial Day weekend.
Well, as vacationers plan on the Memorial Day weekend, the folks at Glen Canyon, Lake Powell, National Recreation Area, and local law enforcement agencies are gearing up to handle the crowds expected at the popular lake. Bullfrog Basin is a favorite destination of Memorial Day visitors, so an extra contingency of Utah State and county and National Park Service law enforcement officers will be on duty to assist with the extra visitor load. Special attention will be given to excessive consumption of alcoholic beverage, boating under the influence, and off-road vehicle operation will be other concerns. These activities in particular cause a number of accidents and injuries each year. To reduce traffic congestion on launch ramps, boaters should plan to launch after 10 a.m. on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Lines begin as early as 6:30 a.m. and can result in 2 or 3 hours wait for boat launching. Likewise, on Monday, boaters are encouraged to retrieve their boats before 10 a.m. or after 5 p.m. to avoid the crowds. Some events going on this week's sandwiches as well as soup will be the fair for Hospitality Day. Hospitality Day is sponsored by local churches and all members of the community are invited. The Hospitality Day is held at St. Pius Church on Friday between 11:30 and 1 o'clock, and all neighbors of the community are invited to share companionship with your neighbors and sandwiches and soup this week. There is no charge. Memorial Day is Monday, May 29th, and the American Legion reminds those who have veterans' flags, if you would like those flags to be flown on Memorial Day at the local cemeteries, take them to Ed's Barbershop by Saturday. Well, it's time once again for our movie review, brought to you by the Movies Video Library at 98 East Center here in Moab. And this week, Suzanne Osana and Christy Robbins review the movie Some Girls.
Hi, welcome to the movie review, and I'm Susan Osana. This week we'll be reviewing Some Girls.
And I'm Christy Robbins. This week we are reviewing Some Girls, which is a hard film to describe, but it's a lot of fun, and there are a lot of little gems of information and some good memories. If you watch this film, they're very touching, some funny moments. It's not a fast-paced comedy drama, it's another relationship film, but if you're patient with it, you will reap some great rewards. It's about a college boy who has a girlfriend that belongs to this quirky oddball family that lives in Canada. They live in an outrageous Gothic home that looks a little bit more like a Catholic church, to tell you the truth. And the clip you're about to see is when he's just showing up with his girlfriend and meeting the family and sitting down to eat, when they find out that Granny, the matriarch of the family, is dying.
My husband is doing the cooking.
Are there any more matches? Simone, that's enough. Still incredibly dark. Daddy, this is Michael.
Hi, Michael. Come in.
Hi, Michael. I'm Miranka.
Anybody else for the Walter?
No, Jonas. The parrot wipes its beak, although it is clean.
Oh, Daddy.
Where's the salt?
On the table? No, just
Although it is clean. Vous sentez bien,
the little table.
Oui, très bien, merci.
Daddy's writing a book about Pascal's pensée.
Vous semblez fatigué.
Oh, okay. He can't work with his clothes on. Michael, Daddy's an atheist.
Simone, it's nothing to joke about.
The girl's lack of respect doesn't surprise me. Come on, Michael. Sit down. How was the flight?
Well,
Pretty hairy, I'll bet. Air travel. It's the bane of my life. Do you know the problem with those jets?
Mama.
Once the engine cuts, that's it. Straight down. They're built like rockets. Propeller planes now, they're built on the principle of the glider. But jets, bang, end of journey. Illumination.
Oh, bellissimo.
Well, that ought to do it.
What was it?
Take Nick here. He flies the damn things. Courting death, if you ask me.
Nick, hi.
Michael. Nick, got a problem with this blender.
Well, I'll see
Lives
what I
in
can
a
do.
world of its own. God only knows if
Nick,
it doesn't
come
disappear,
here.
it gets broken.
Well, you shouldn't leave it outside.
Have a bite. Mmm.
Hop up. Hop, hop, hop. Hop up.
Michael, put your hands up.
Michael?
Nick, you're filthy.
Okay, you fix it. You do it next time. Sorry for helping out.
Don't get mad. Soup's great.
I'm not.
Nick, wash your hands.
I was worried.
Such a slob.
How do you know that?
Do I smell bad?
I'm really sorry to hear about your mother.
No. Mama? Mama?
This is an offbeat film, but I really liked it. I mean, anyone who likes a film that doesn't have a real formula or a clear, real linear plot, it's a beautiful film about a beautiful family, gorgeous girls, gorgeous mother, and just wacky.
Yeah, they
Just
are.
totally wacky in this wacky house, playing with this guy this young man who does manage to get something out of it. And what he gets out of it is a connection with his grandmother who's dying. But it's done in a beautiful way. It's not really a sad film at all. It's a very, I would say it's more of a comedy in a way than anything, with an underlying serious tone. But it's not depressing and beautiful. It's the cinematography is gorgeous. It's just incredible, of Canada and the city, and just beautifully filmed.
It really says something. It makes you want to go up and be in the snow. And to say that in May shows how beautiful a job they did. It's really a tender, bittersweet comment on how mysterious people can be. You can live with them for 200 years and not really know them, but it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't really matter. And the surprises that life has, and I think this young man came there wanting something and went away with something totally different, but was very happy with what he got from his visit.
In fact, I do remember him saying that he stopped every once in a while and had a sort of going narrative with himself saying, I have this theory. You know, and then at the end he said, I have this theory that all my former theories are baloney.
Baloney. Yeah, and so he took away just something very beautiful, and that was the heart of the film. This kind of maturity and this realization this young man had, and you're going to have to get the film to figure out what that was. But I would recommend it, especially if you like offbeat, something a little different and something beautiful.
Yes, if you're not depending on, as she says, a formula, a linear plot, and you're willing to just let the story tell itself and enjoy the characters for their quirkiness, then you will have a ball with Some Girls.
Yeah, and it's rated R, and I think the R is for just a little bit of nudity, but it's a good film.
The Movies Video Library at 98 East Center Street has the largest and best selection of movies in Utah with over 3,000 titles. New releases to classics, a large selection of children's movies, and for that sweet tooth, Golitz candies. We also have gourmet coffee with many fine blends. The Movies, your one-stop video store at 98 East Center, 259-8847.
Well, that's our movie review brought to you by the Movies Video Library. And one final note, we will have our regular scheduled broadcast the rest of this week, but we'll be off the air until Wednesday night of next week for maintenance and repair. And that's news of our Moab and Canyonlands country, and we hope you enjoy a good day.
Hi, I'm John Fogg, your local independent insurance agent. We've been serving the Moab area since 1955. Central Utah Insurance Agency has a company that fits just about any need. Just look at what we can do for you.
We can insure all kinds of vehicles, from old to new, sporty to luxury. We can insure almost every kind of home.
Why not come in and see me today? I will put your insurance coverage with a company that fits your needs at the best possible price.
Welcome to our TV6 News Report. I'm Dee Tranter with a roundup of the news that is of interest to our Moab area. Take a look at the weather, and in news today we have a report on better school utilization means more funds for school operations as it applies to Grand County. And we'll have stories on the hazardous waste over in Uravan, Colorado. It may not go to Uravan. And I'll have those stories and more news in just a moment. Certified Ford at 500 South Main would like to make one of your car or truck payments this year. If you purchase a car or truck from Certified Ford, your name will automatically be eligible for a once-a-month drawing. If your name is drawn, Certified Ford will make your next month's car payment. If you pay cash, you'll receive a cash refund equal to a payment. There's a maximum limit of $450. You have 12 chances to win, but you always win when you purchase that new or used car from Certified Ford. They have the largest selection of new and used cars and trucks in Moab, from four-wheel drive to the popular vans to carry the family. Certified Ford is the place for quality A1 used cars and trucks. So come on down to Certified Ford for the best deal anywhere. That's Certified Ford at 500 South Main. Phone 259-6107. In news today, better utilization of school facilities has allowed Utah to accommodate rising school enrollments and permitted limited state and local resources to be devoted for school operating purposes. That's the conclusion of a study this week released by the Utah Foundation, private nonprofit research organization. The report observes that legislation adopted in 1987 required that 1. Schools be operated at least 70% of capacity. 2. Districts with growth problems begin to phase in effective facility use programs. 3. Districts implement a building use program that included year-round schools, extended day programs, before they can receive any state building aid. And 4. Districts begin revising school curriculum programs so that students may graduate after the 11th grade. Foundation analysts pointed out that some of these measures already have had the effect of restricting capital expenditures and allowing more of the state and local resources to be utilized for operating purposes. Over the past 2 years, capital